Okay, let's talk about one of the most powerful and honestly most misunderstood ideas in business: the difference between a compass and a map. It really is the secret sauce that explains why some companies can navigate total chaos and come out on top, while others, with what look like perfect plans, just completely lose their way.
It seems like such a basic question, right? But really think about it. The answer to this is everything. It's the difference between building something that can bend and not break, something that lasts, and building something that just shatters the first time it hits an unexpected roadblock. So here's the best way to think about it. Your compass, that's your strategy. It's your why. It's that unshakable true north that guides every single decision you make. And the map? Well, the map is your tactics. It's the specific road you're on right now. And spoiler alert, that road is almost guaranteed to change. A lot.
To really see how this plays out in the real world, we're going to look at the story of two internet giants. One of them held its compass steady through every single storm, and the other, well, they had 1,000 maps, but absolutely no clue where they were actually trying to go.
First up, let's look at a company that got this right from day one, LinkedIn. From the very beginning, they had this crystal clear strategy, a true north that they just never ever strayed from.
I mean, just think about that focus for a second. This was back in 2004, when other social networks were exploding with games and photos and all sorts of distractions. LinkedIn set this one simple, powerful goal. It wasn't just about connecting with old colleagues. It was about being the place, the central hub where your professional life creates opportunity. That was their compass. But here's where it gets really interesting. Having a perfect compass doesn't mean you have a perfect map. The actual path you take is going to be full of wrong turns and dead ends. And believe me, LinkedIn's early journey was no exception.
The founder, Reid Hoffman, said it perfectly. While his team was kind of panicking over these early failures, suggesting they copy competitors and add things like photo sharing, he saw it completely differently. To him, each failure wasn't a crisis, it was just data. It wasn't proof they were going in the wrong direction. It was just proof they needed to find a different path to the exact same destination.
And you can literally see this play out over the years. That clear strategy was set way back in 2004. A couple of years later, in 2006, their initial maps, their tactics like adding games, were failing miserably. But because their compass was locked in, they didn't panic. They just kept trying new maps, experimenting with things like publishing tools. The path changed, the destination didn't. And that persistence, well, that's what ultimately paid off. $26 billion. Just let that sink in. That's what Microsoft paid for LinkedIn in 2016. It's the absolutely staggering value of a company that never, ever lost sight of its compass.
All right, now for the other side of the coin, the cautionary tale. We're talking about a company that was once the default homepage for the entire internet. They had countless maps, but no true north to guide any of them.
And that question brings us to the tragic story of Yahoo. These guys were the original pioneers. They had a massive head start. They had a map for literally everything: news, search, shopping, email, you name it. But they were missing that one crucial thing to hold it all together. I mean, just look at the difference in clarity. It's night and day. Yahoo's goal was a complete internet experience. What does that even mean? It's so vague, so sprawling. Meanwhile, Google's compass was absolutely laser-focused, organize the world's information. Yahoo actually had the chance to buy Google, twice, but they couldn't see the power of that singular mission. They were just too busy drawing new maps to realize their own ship was completely adrift. $4.8 billion. That's what Verizon eventually paid for what was left of Yahoo in 2017. And yeah, it sounds like a lot of money, until you remember what that company used to be worth. A 97% collapse in value. That is the devastating, brutal price of having no direction. It is the unforgettable lesson of what happens when you have 100 different maps, but no compass to tell you which way is north. So these stories about LinkedIn and Yahoo, they're not just some business school case studies. They actually reveal a really powerful lesson for all of us about how to find clarity, even when everything feels like chaos. So if we boil it all down, it's this simple. Your strategy? That's your compass. It's your constant direction. Your tactics? That's your map. It's the path you're on, and that path will change. And maybe most importantly, when a tactic fails, it doesn't mean you're lost. It's just data. It's the world telling you to find a different route. And that brings us right here to the final, most important question. Because in your career, in your projects, in your life, the plan is going to change. The path will have detours you never saw coming. The map you're holding right now will be outdated sooner than you think. So, knowing all that, what's your compass?